we were booking that day, okay? We were at my house booking. Ed was there. Terry Taylor might have been there. I'm not sure. But that same exact day, I literally, as a shoot, I swear, called my lawyer and said, whatever it takes, you need to get me out of this contract. I said, I don't care about the money. I'll leave it on the table. You need to get me out of this contract.
Why?
Whatever.
What was the final straw?
It was miserable. Everyone was out to get me, between the veterans at WCW, not the younger guys, not the the Jerichos and the Benoits and the Guerreras and the Malenkos, not those guys. We know what guys we're talking about, because here was this guy coming along, and now he was going to use these underdeveloped talents to cut into our television time. He's got to go. Okay, so it was coming from that end. Every time, and I've never said this before, Sean, and I'm only telling you because I respect you. I like talking to you. You're fair. Every time I turned around, J.J. Dillon and Kevin Sullivan were in a corner, and you know how, like, when you turn around, you see somebody and then it stops and they go to... That was happening for 2 months.
So
okay?
Who was your champion there? Who wanted
I had
you there?
Ed Ferrara. I really felt like it was me and Ed, like, literally against the world. No question about it, okay? So... literally that day, I called my lawyer. I said, I don't care less about the money. I'll go work at Starbucks. It didn't matter. That same day, I was supposed to be going into the office to have a meeting with, I don't remember if it was Flair and Hogan or just Flair. It might have just been Flair, because I think Flair was out at the time and we were going to be bringing him back. So I was supposed to go into the office to have a meeting with him. Well, I go into the office, there's no Flair, there's no Hogan, there's Bill Bush, and I swear to you, as white as a ghost. Okay, literally shaking as white as a ghost. So he calls me into his office, and I sit down there, and all this is the God honest truth, okay? And he says to me, he goes, Vince, we've decided to take a change in direction. And we now want you to be part of a committee. Didn't say Sullivan or this guy was heading it, nothing. You're going to be part of a committee. Now, you've got to understand, an hour before this meeting, I was on the phone with my lawyer saying, get me out of my contract. I don't care about the money. I'll leave the money on the table. Get me out of this. So now when Bill Bush tells me this, I'm sitting there, and as I'm hearing the words, I'm saying to myself, you're breaking my contract. This guy literally is breaking my contract. This is exactly what I want. Because now not only am I going to get out of this, I'm going to get paid to get out of it. I mean, literally, that's going through my mind. So as cool as a cucumber. Because the last place I wanted to be was at WCW. As cool as a cucumber, I looked at Bill and I said, Bill, I have no interest in being any part of a committee. I said, that's not what I was hired for. What that said, I was hired to be, the head writer. I said, so, you need to call, what was his name? Siegel. I said, you need to call Brad Siegel and you need to figure out what you're going to do about my pay. And I got up and I walked out. And when I walked out that door and I got in the parking lot, I let out the biggest, Martin Luther King, free at last, free at last. And like I said, the beauty of it was, not only was I free at last, I was going to be paid for it now. And that's exactly what happened.
Describe Bill Bush to someone who's never met him.
Dixie Carter. I'm dead serious. Somebody that... God, I never thought of this before, but there's so many great people, great human beings. You'd be their friends outside of the office. Really great human beings have no business being in the wrestling business. Way over their heads. in a shark tank, just getting eaten alive and not knowing it. But great human being, great guy. I have nothing bad to say about him, no heat whatsoever, but certainly had no business being in the wrestling business.
Ed stays on.
Yeah.
Are you able to feed him ideas, help him out, talk to him on the phone?
We again, that was probably the roughest time in the relationship between me and Ed, because I brought Ed in.
Right.
I mean, when I went to WCW in the middle of the night and they interviewed me, Ed Ferrara was not a part of it. Ed did not know I was going there. So once I got to talking to them, it was, what about Ed? I literally called Ed from Atlanta, and Ed flew in the next day and signed the contract that day. And so I brought Ed in, and I did take it a little personal that I was leaving and he was staying, even though at the end of the day Ed had a wife he had to take care of. Ed didn't have another job, and it made total sense while he was staying on, but I was just so upset with the company that the fact that Ed was going to remain a part of it, that kind of put our relationship in a bad place. Bro, I hope you enjoyed that clip. Please remember to ring the bell to get notified, subscribe, and share. And also remember, if you want more premium content, just go to russosbrand.com and patreon.com/Russo TWC. You will get 12 shows a week for under the price of $10. Russo's Brand, where pros are pros.